have a cross that sits at that intersection. Our friends say it looks nice. There's flowers there and pictures there. How many crosses are there across the United States?
There's a
We
lot.
see on our roads, on our interstates and our highways. We see them all over the place. I
There's
never
a
really gave
lot.
them much thought before. Now, everyone that I go by, I say a little prayer for that person because, people died there.
Yeah.
Don't let this be you.
I don't know if I could if I should be recording this, but I just oh damn. I doing this course because I got in an accident. We'll talk about it afterwards. It's a 4-hour course. I have time.
This fatal crash was the result of a series of choices made by a single driver, and an innocent person was killed because of those choices. This kind of tragedy happens every day on our roads.
Ooh. Okay. Hold on. Oop. Oop. Don't move that. Don't move that. I'm gonna be right here in the corner. Alright, let's do this shit. Let's keep going. The choices we make. Lesson 4. Wait, this is. Wait, all this
Every
is one
behavior
thing?
is a choice.
Why do I
You
get to
choose
keep this?
different
Oh, I get to
behaviors
keep it because
at
I'm recording
every
it.
moment. Your choices as a driver can have significant consequences. Your driving choices can increase or decrease the probability of a collision. Even good drivers make choices that put themselves in potentially dangerous situations. Watch this short video about the 6 deadly choices. Then click or tap Next to move on.
Hello? Video? Are you here? Oh, we'll just read it. Every year, 10,000 Americans die in a motor vehicle. Wait, can I? If I scroll all the way down, do I get to press next?
Deadly choices.
Okay.
The 6 deadly choices are, in order of their statistical impact, speeding,
Can I
violating the right of
pause?
way,
Can I?
distract.
Okay, great. We missed some stuff, but okay. Every year, tens of thousands of Americans die in a motor vehicle collision. In the latest reporting year, the figure was estimated that over 40,000 deaths. Oh boy. The great majority of crashes, especially those with fatalities and serious injuries, are caused by just 6 driving behaviors. We call these the 6 deadly choices. And we can continue now.
Distracted driving, turning improperly, driving left of center, and following too closely.
What does left of
Each of these
center mean?
behaviors is a choice you as a driver can make or decide to avoid. In this video, we'll highlight the dangers of these choices, and later in the course, we'll provide techniques for avoiding them. Speeding is the #1 killer because it reduces the amount of time you as a driver have to react in a dangerous situation and increases your vehicle's stopping distance. Remember that speeding doesn't just mean exceeding the speed limit. It can also mean driving too fast for existing conditions. Violating the right of way is the second most common driver error. You violate the right of way when you fail to yield to or
I have something to
when
say
you
about this.
disregard a stoplight, sign, or signal. There are many different kinds of distractions that can affect our driving. Recent studies suggest that about 30% of drivers are distracted at any given time. Drivers experience 3 types of distractions. A manual distraction can cause you to take your hands off the wheel. A visual distraction can cause you to take your eyes off the road. A cognitive distraction can cause you to take your mind off the road. Distracted driving reduces our ability to respond to changing conditions, which can have deadly results. Turning improperly and using the wrong lane are interconnected deadly choices. Turning improperly can lead to angle collisions, where the front of one vehicle hits the side of another vehicle, like in a T-bone collision, and can also lead to sideswipe crashes. Both of these are among the leading causes of injuries and fatalities on our roads. When you drive left of center, as you do when passing another vehicle,
Left of
you put
center.
yourself at risk of the most fatal type of collision, the head-on collision. Following too closely is the leading cause of rear-end collisions, and these lead to more injuries than any other type of crash. These are the 6 deadly choices that increase your chances of a fatal collision. Remember, every behavior is a choice.
I wish they went over those more in depth, but yeah, they call the left of center thing something else. Anyway, I don't remember what it was.
All these unsafe
Oh
driving
wait,
behaviors
no,
are the
pause, stop. Nah, it's fine.
All these unsafe driving behaviors are the result of drivers making bad choices or using poor judgment. One reason a driver might choose one of these behaviors is lack of knowledge. Many people don't realize that a split-second decision to speed or turn left in front of another vehicle can result in a life-altering crash. They can be severely injured or killed, or they could kill another person. Each of these 6 deadly choices will be discussed in more detail later in the course.
Lesson 5. What's in my control?
Every day you encounter different driving conditions and many factors beyond your control. It's important to know how to adjust your driving to these factors, which fall into one of 4 categories: visibility, weather, road conditions, and other users of the road.
Hello? Let me go on. Oh, did I pause it? No, let me go on. Come on, man. Please. 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 It's not letting me move. Is this what's open right now? OBS is. Close that. Yeah, just close
Both
it.
too much and
There we
too
go.
little light can limit your ability to see as you drive. Light conditions causing reduced visibility include sun glare, especially at sunrise and sunset,
Mm-hmm.
low light at dawn and dusk,
Mm-hmm.
snow glare, light reflected off objects such as buildings, water, and other vehicles, work zone lights, and high beam headlights on oncoming vehicles or vehicles following you.
Yo, people in their fucking high beams is so annoying. Turn them off, please.
Bright light and glare create
Please.
a driving hazard because your eyes must adjust between abrupt changes in light level. You may be effectively blind for a short time. Low light creates a driving hazard because other objects, including other vehicles, are not fully or clearly illuminated. You may miss important details in a driving situation.
Mm-hmm.
In difficult light conditions, it is critical to see and be seen. There are some general strategies you should follow to prepare for and handle visibility factors with too little light. Increase the space around you by adding 1 or more seconds of following distance. Slow down. Take sunglasses off. Use headlights.
I'm sure you can just use that.
There are some general strategies you should follow to prepare for and handle visibility factors with too much light. Use sun visors. Slow down. Wear sunglasses. Keep the windshield and all windows clean, inside and outside, to prevent light reflecting streaks.
Does it really help with light? I don't know. But I'll try it out.
If a vehicle approaches you from the opposite direction with its high beam headlights on, look to the side of the road at the white line. Avoid headlights. If the vehicle behind you is using high beams, slow down and or move over and allow them to pass.
Okay. I usually just look I try to look like straight ahead. Like I don't look if they're coming from this way, I look like over here. But I mean I can still see the line. So I guess I was doing a good job with that. I gotta look at the line because it's down there in the corner. Anyway, yeah, I'll look at the line.
Weather-related hazards reduce driver visibility, vehicle traction, and or steering control. They include rain, sleet, snow, fog, dust, smoke, strong wind, and certain light conditions. Whenever you drive, keep this in mind. Weather conditions can change quickly, from sunny skies 1 minute to a thunderstorm or snow squall the next.
Snow squall. That's a new word. Haven't heard that before. Snow squall.
As the driver, consider whether you should start or continue driving when a weather hazard is present. If you must drive, go at a speed appropriate to conditions, which will be slower than the posted speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
Increase space around you by adding 1 or more seconds of following distance, and allow extra time and distance for maneuvers such as lane changes, turns, and stops.
Yeah.
Click or tap each box to view strategies you can use to prepare for and handle weather-related factors.
Lights.
Keep headlights and taillights clean and clear of mud, snow, and ice. Use low beams in fog.
Yeah.
Use low beam headlights both to see and be seen, even if it is daytime.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. People just use their bright lights in fog, and I don't understand.
Make sure tires are properly inflated and have adequate tread to keep your vehicle from skidding in wet, icy, or snowy weather. Use a tire pressure gauge to compare actual pressure against manufacturer's recommended pressure. Use a tread depth gauge to make sure tire tread is adequate. There should be at least 4 30-seconds of an inch tread depth for rainy weather driving and 6 30-seconds of an inch tread depth for driving in snow.
I remember that. This is, I don't know much about tires or cars in general, so I should probably get to watching videos about cars and stuff so I could, like, learn, know what to do. Because I watch a lot of videos on a lot of other shit, too.
Keep the windshield clear and remove any accumulated snow or ice. Check the level of windshield washer fluid regularly and refill it when it's low. Replace the wiper blades when they show signs of wear. As you drive, use the wipers to keep the windshield clear of rain, sleet, or snow. Use washer fluid to remove dust, dirt, mud, or road salt residue.
Just road salt. I don't know what that is.
Keep all window surfaces clean. Dirt can accumulate on the inside of windows too, especially if occupants smoke.
Or
Remove
if it's
any
cold.
obstructions that limit your view from both inside and outside the windows. Use vehicle's defogger or defroster as soon as condensation starts appearing on windows or to remove ice or frost already there. Don't drive until the windows are clear. Clear snow or ice accumulation from any sensors, including those in the bumpers and high on the windshield. Wipe debris, water, snow, and ice from camera.
So, one time I was sitting in my car and I was gonna drive home from work, and it was, I don't remember what the temperature was, but it was so cold that I turned on the car, and then I turned on the defogger, and I sat there for a good like 20 minutes just waiting for the windows to like lose their condensation. So it didn't work. I couldn't see at all. So I just started what did I do? Oh, I used a piece of paper and I started like wiping off the windows. But the fog would come right back and I was like super confused why the fog was coming back. And the car wasn't getting any warmer and I was like really confused. until I put my foot on the gas, and I was like, oh, that would do it. Yeah. Hello?
Rain creates several driving hazards. It makes it harder for drivers to see and track other vehicles and pedestrians. Pedestrians may run with their heads down or behind an umbrella and not see vehicles. It requires drivers to operate controls for wipers and defoggers, distracting them from the act of driving. It causes engine oil and automotive fluid spilled on the road surface to float on top of the water, making the road especially slippery during the first 15 minutes of rain, and it can cause vehicles to hydroplane.
That's what hydroplane is. Yeah, I thought hydroplane had to do with planes. Honestly, planes and water. I thought when water got inside a plane, that's what. Anyway,
Click or
moving
tap
on.
each box to learn more about the hazards of rain. Rain can cause vehicles to hydroplane. Hydroplaning means the vehicle's tires are riding on a film of water, not on the road surface. This loss of traction causes loss of steering and braking control and can lead to a dangerous skid. Hydroplaning is typically caused by worn tires with insufficient tread. In heavy rain, shallow tread grooves can't channel enough water through, allowing it to build in front of the tire and lift the tire from the road surface.
That's how that works. That's it. That's an image. That is an image.
Roads flooded due to a heavy rainstorm, hurricane, overflowing river, or similar event can be extremely dangerous. According to the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, flash floods are the #1 cause of weather-related deaths in the U.S., many occurring in automobiles. As little as 6 inches of rushing water can knock down an adult, and just 2 feet of rushing water can sweep away most vehicles. Even if the water is not rushing but simply standing, attempting to drive on a road covered with water can stall your vehicle's engine and cause irreparable damage if you try to restart it. Be smart. When you encounter a flooded road, turn around. It is never safe to drive in floodwaters.
I have never been in a flood before, especially a flash flood. I've seen a bunch of videos on them, but I haven't been in a single one. That's a good thing. Probably don't want to experience
If your vehicle ever begins to skid, there is a technique to control and steer out of the skid. But first, you need to know whether your vehicle is equipped with an anti-lock braking system, ABS or non-ABS brakes. Check your owner's manual if you are unsure.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I gotta go check that.
To steer out of a skid,
Well, we're getting a new
vehicle
car,
equipped
so it
with
might
an
be.
anti-lock braking system. 1. Take your foot off the accelerator. 2. Apply firm, steady pressure to the brake. 3. Turn the steering wheel in the direction you want the front of the vehicle to go. Anti-lock brakes are designed to keep the wheels from locking up while constant pressure is maintained on the brake pedal, preventing uncontrolled skidding. Remember, the best strategy for slippery conditions is to slow down and increase following distance.
You know that sign that says like slippery when wet? Well, it has a car and there's the lines behind it. That's a slippery when wet sign. I literally just start driving like 10 miles per speed limit, even when it's not raining.
To steer out of a skid in a vehicle equipped with non-ABS brakes. 1. Ease your foot off the accelerator. 2. Turn the steering wheel in the direction you want the front of the vehicle to go. 3. Pump the brakes, being careful not to allow the wheels to lock up. 4. When you have gained control of the vehicle, gradually apply the brakes, being careful not to lock the wheels and go into another skid. Depending on conditions and the loss of traction, you may have to repeat these steps a few times.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What? You gotta pump the brakes, not press it. Pump, 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 pump. Gee, I'm sorry.
If you drive a four-wheel or all-wheel drive vehicle, don't become overconfident in bad weather. Let's look at what these drive systems can and cannot do.
Overconfident in bad weather?
Learn more.
Never heard of it.
Four-wheel and all-wheel vehicles provide better traction in starting and keeping the vehicle moving in slippery situations. They also send power to all four wheels, increasing the chance of gripping the road. Four-wheel and all-wheel vehicles do not stop the vehicle any faster than two-wheel drive.
Really?
They also do not prevent the vehicle from sliding.
Huh. Oh. There goes your four-wheel drive.
Do you ever drive in snow or sleet? Make your selection below, then click or tap Submit.
Well, I don't live in a snowy, well, it snowed like once, but I didn't even drive that day, and it wasn't even, no. No, I don't. I haven't yet. It doesn't snow here.
Fog, dust, and smoke are driving hazards that can appear quickly and make it difficult or impossible to both see and be seen. In these conditions, slow down and turn on low-beam headlights. High beams reflect off the fog, dust, or smoke and back into your eyes, making it harder to see anything. If you cannot see ahead, find a place to pull safely off the road. Never stop on the roadway surface.
Huh. I could do that then.
Dust and smoke differ from fog, and so they require some different driving strategies. Fog consists of fine particles of moisture, which make the road surface damp. As a result, allow for increased braking distance. Dust and smoke can come from sources both on and off the roadway. Whatever the source, take these steps. Close all windows and air vents to contain breathable air in the vehicle. When conditions have cleared, clean the dust or smoke particles from head and tail lights, sensors, hood, windshield, and windows. High or gusty winds can be a hazard while driving, especially for large or high-profile vehicles, such as SUVs, trucks, campers, and those pulling trailers. Strong gusts can actually blow your vehicle or adjacent vehicles off course, and tree limbs and other debris can be blown into your path. High winds can occur anywhere, but they are more common in wide open spaces, highway overpasses, and roads cut through mountainous areas.
Really? I didn't know they occurred in wider spaces. I thought they happened, and I mean, it wasn't like what we're looking for. It wasn't like equal everywhere. Huh. That explains why. Much wind.
Here are some strategies for driving in high winds. Slow down. Keep both hands firmly on the steering wheel at all times.
And that's why it's
Give
so
other
breezy in this.
vehicles, especially large trucks and 18-wheelers, a wide berth. Be alert for blowing debris and unexpected movement of nearby vehicles. If a wind gust pushes you off course, steer gently back on course. Do not make abrupt or sudden movements.
You might go off the road.
The condition of the road can affect your driving. Just like light and weather conditions, road conditions can change quickly. 3 characteristics determine each road condition. Click or tap each box to learn more. The surface is what the road is made of. The shoulder is a form of non-traffic area at the edge of the road. The shape is how the road is designed. There is no such thing as a maintenance-free road. Repair is an ongoing issue. Drivers must be vigilant for defects, such as ruts and cracks, potholes, and worn or missing lane markings. Click or tap each box to learn more about the 4 road surfaces. A dirt road is the most basic type of road. It does not have a drainage system, curbs, or lane marking, and easily becomes rutted and bumpy. Dirt roads generate dust when dry and mud when wet. When driving on dirt roads, drive slowly. Watch for ruts, mud holes, half-buried rocks, and other objects to avoid getting stuck or damaging your vehicle. Dirt roads don't typically have a shoulder. Other road types without shoulders include gravel roads, which are edged by natural areas or ditches, and urban and suburban roads, which are paved and lined with curbs. When there's no shoulder, there is no allowance for driving mistakes or space to pull over in case of a breakdown or crash.
Damn.
Gravel eliminates some of the problems of dirt roads. However, loose stones provide less traction than a paved surface, and skidding can result if you drive too fast, change direction suddenly, or slam on the brakes. When driving on a gravel road, make all maneuvers slowly. Be especially careful at road edges, which can be dangerous. Gravel roads typically have a dirt shoulder, which is better than no shoulder, but presents the same problems as a dirt road. Ruts can develop alongside a paved road surface. Always turn your wheels sharply when moving from road to shoulder and back again where ruts are present. Asphalt initially provides a firm and smooth surface. However, potholes and washboard surfaces can develop, and patching material may contain substances that can make road more slippery in wet weather. When driving on asphalt roads, drive carefully over damaged and repaired sections. Stop gently and gradually at washboarded intersections to avoid skidding. Asphalt roads typically have a gravel shoulder. The shoulder is usually not a full vehicle wide. It may be lower than the road grade, not support the weight of larger or heavier vehicles, and make it difficult to pull a vehicle 10 feet away from the roadway, which is required in most states.
What? Huh.
Concrete makes a hard, smooth, and stable surface.
Yeah.
It can incorporate textures that provide extra traction in wet, icy, or snowy weather. However, concrete is subject to cracking due to freeze and thaw cycles, heavy vehicles, or poor building practices. When driving on concrete roads, watch out for cracks and crumbling sections. Concrete roads typically have a paved shoulder. This is the best type of shoulder and usually accompanies a high-speed road, but it does not have the same strength as the road itself. When using the shoulder, remember to park at least 10 feet from the roadway, and that vehicles passing by at high speeds can create wind blasts that make it hard to handle doors, hood, and the trunk lid. They can even push or pull a person into harm's way.
Oh, man.
As mentioned earlier, a third characteristic that determines road condition is shape. There are a few common road shapes. Click or tap on each heading to learn more.
Tap. Tap.
On flat roads, the surface is flat across the width of the road. When drivers take curves too fast, flat roads do not counteract the force of inertia, which is the tendency of a vehicle to go straight. Water can accumulate on flat roadways. As a driving tip, slow down before entering a curve on a flat road. Watch for water puddling that may cause hydroplaning. On crowned roads, the surface is slightly higher at the center and lower at the outer edges, which allows water to drain off the road. But it can also cause vehicles to pull toward the lower side of the road. As a driving tip, beware of driving off a crowned road, especially when distracted.
Maybe you should just drive in the middle. Just go straight to the middle. I mean, if there's no cars around.
On banked roads, the surface is tilted on curves, with the higher side on the outside edge of the curve to counteract inertia. Banked surfaces are typically used only on high-speed roadways. As a driving tip, drive at the posted speed when traveling on a banked curve to maintain lane position.
Did I finish the soda? Is that all? Go away, banked. Oh, I guess we won.
Steep, Hilly or mountainous roads require special driving techniques. Click or tap on each box to learn more about driving uphill and downhill.
Driving
When
uphill.
driving uphill, gravity is pulling you backward. To maintain a proper speed, smoothly, increase your RPMs as you approach the hill, staying within the speed limit. On smaller, short hills, hold the accelerator steady as you go up. Do not continue to accelerate. You may lose some speed, but you will avoid putting unnecessary stress on the engine and wasting fuel as well. If your momentum is not maintained through the hill, or if you notice that your engine is struggling to stay at its current speed, you may need to shift into a lower gear. Ideally, you should accelerate to about 80% power on steep inclines to avoid putting unnecessary stress on the engine.
80%, huh?
When driving
Downhills.
downhill, gravity is pulling you forward. To keep control of your vehicle, you may need to release the accelerator gently and apply the brakes with steady pressure if your vehicle is still going too fast.
I would just take my
When
foot off
driving
the brake.
downhill, gravity is pulling you forward. To keep control of your vehicle, you may need to release the Click or tap on each box to learn more about driving on hilly or mountainous roads.
Brake
Because
fade.
brakes use friction to stop your vehicle, excessive use of brakes may cause off-gassing of the brake lining or pads. Continued use causes this gas to get trapped within the brake system and results in reduced friction and ultimately the effectiveness of the brake, resulting in a loss of braking power. This very dangerous condition is known as brake fade. To avoid brake fade, supplement your brakes with engine braking by downshifting to a lower gear. This best practice applies to vehicles with both manual and automatic transmissions.
I could also do that, but I should just like put my foot on the brake just in case I have to stop. So yeah.
To downshift an automatic transmission while driving downhill, apply smooth, steady pressure on the brake pedal until you have slowed to a speed at which downshifting is safe for your transmission. Consult your owner's manual if you are unsure of the recommended speed. Shift from normal drive gear to the next lower gear. The engine will slow the vehicle automatically, and your need to use the brakes will be significantly reduced. If the grade is very steep and requires additional braking, you can shift to an even lower gear, as long as you have slowed to the speed appropriate for that gear. Be sure to shift back to normal drive when you reach flatter land. In addition to steep grades, mountain driving can present special hazards. Stay alert for road conditions that may appear with little or no warning, such as changes in posted speed limits, narrow and winding roads, soft or non-existent shoulders, rock slides, washouts, snow or ice, even in summer, and slow-moving vehicles such as large trucks. Winding roads and sharp curves are inherently dangerous, especially because you can't see far ahead.
Oh, man.
Always
Hate
watch for
winding
warning
roads.
signs and obey advisory speed limits. The physical law of inertia comes into play each time you enter a curve. Your vehicle will continue to travel in a straight line unless you control it by steering. But excessive speed can overcome steering control.
Why you go slow?
Here are some steps for maneuvering through a sharp curve. Before entering the curve, slow to the advisory speed or a speed that seems safe if one is not posted. As you go around the curve, look as far ahead as possible. Keep to your own lane and accelerate slightly to maintain your speed. Once through the curve, accelerate to the road's posted or safe speed. There are some basic defenses you should follow to prepare for and handle changing road conditions. Slow down, increase following distance, and scan ahead. In this session, you learned how to recognize that driver safety affects everyone. Identify your personal driving behaviors and tendencies. Recognize that every behavior is a choice.
Yeah.
Define risky driving behaviors. Identify the 6 deadly choices that lead to the majority of crashes. Identify what's in your control when you drive, and explain how to drive defensively in conditions beyond your control. Next is a brief quiz challenge to review this session.
Quiz challenge. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Welcome to the Session 1 Quiz Challenge. This
Aw.
section is not narrated. You
Damn.
can answer the following multiple choice or true-false questions based on what you learned in this session. If you answer incorrectly, you will be prompted to retake the quiz. You must answer all questions correctly before you can advance to the next session.
Oh,
Click or
okay.
tap Next to start the quiz.
Next. Okay, if your vehicle begins to skid, you should turn the steering wheel blank. If you should turn the steering wheel blank in the direction you want the front of the vehicle to go, in the opposite direction you want the front of the vehicle to go, back and forth in both directions. This one. Great. Can I? Oh, I have to continue. Oh, it says why right there. If I got it. Okay. True or false? Of all the collisions reported, most are a result of someone choosing an unsafe behavior. Select your answer. The result of choosing an. Most are a result of someone choosing an unsafe behavior. That is. Someone choosing an unsafe behavior. I'd say that's true, right? That's how this works, right? Of all the collisions reported, most are a result of someone choosing an unsafe behavior. Sorry, I'm looking at if I make a decision to turn here and I'm thinking it if I'm making the decision, I think it's right, yeah, because I mean, I'm not saying if I'm like doing it, right? No. True, right? It's true. Yeah, I don't know why. All collisions reported, a large percentage is a result of someone choosing an unsafe behavior. Huh. What if I think I choose it right? Then it would still be. Never mind. Weather-related hazards reduce driver visibility, vehicle traction, and steering control. They include, select your answer. Weather-related hazards reduce driver visibility, vehicle traction, and or steering control. All of them. Not just that one. Yeah, all of them. What happens when you take a risk while driving? You take control of the situation, you control over the other driver, you make the right choice that is safest for you. You let someone or something else take control of your situation. What happens when you take a risk while driving? You let someone or something else take control of the situation. What happens when you take a risk while driving? I think it's this one. Yeah. When you take a risk while driving, you let someone or something else take control of the situation. A blank-shaped road is slightly higher in the center and lower on the edges, allowing water to drain off roads. Like your answer. Crowned, because the bank goes in, and the crown's like that because it's a crown. I'm thinking that's how I'm thinking it. I'm thinking triangle. Triangle, and then that would be a diamond. Oh, sorry.
Congratulations! You answered all of the questions correctly and have
Yay.
completed session 1.
Now I have
Tap on the menu
7 more
to select session
sessions
2,
to do.
or click or tap on the next button below to continue.
Yeah. 7 more sections. Let's go. Kill me now. Alright, here we go. New section.
In this session, you will learn how to define defensive driving, collision prevention, and the National Safety Council NSC collision prevention formula. Identify defensive driving techniques that can be used when physical, mental, and emotional factors affect the ability to drive. Recognize potential hazards when driving, and use the what-if strategy to avoid hazards. Identify the risks associated with driving without seat belts or proper restraints, and identify how to properly use vehicle safety systems.
Defensive driving, lesson 1.
Defensive driving is driving to save lives, time, and money, in spite of the conditions around you and the actions of others. Defensive driving is the personal responsibility of everyone who operates or rides in a motor vehicle. In a perfect world, driving would be a wonderfully cooperative experience because everyone would pay attention, drive cautiously, and show courtesy toward other drivers. A defensive driving course would not be needed.
That is so fucking... Alright, moving on.
But the reality is that we do not live in a perfect world. Some drivers seem determined to make driving more difficult than it should be. In contrast, defensive driving protects us from what is happening around us and benefits everyone. Developing defensive driving habits involves making safe and legal driving decisions, creating a safe, stress-free personal driving space in and around your vehicle, driving to your destination safely without a ticket or a collision, and without affecting other drivers' safety, practicing courtesy and cooperation, and recognizing the risks of hazardous driving behaviors and conditions. A defensive driver does everything reasonable to avoid a collision or violation. If that means slowing down in bad weather, the defensive driver slows down. If it means letting a problem driver get ahead, the defensive driver lets the problem driver go and does not challenge the action. In learning to become a defensive driver, you also have to look at collisions and violations from the point of view of this crucial question. What reasonable action should I have taken to avoid the collision or violation? Instead of trying to find out who is to blame or coming up with an excuse, you should be asking how the collision or violation could have been prevented. A preventable collision is a collision in which the driver failed to do everything reasonable to avoid it. The facts show that the majority of collisions are preventable. What's even more important is that those same facts show that violations are the cause of most collisions. The National Safety Council, or NSC, has developed a three-step approach to help drivers anticipate hazards and avoid collisions. It is called the NSC Collision Prevention Formula. The formula is designed around the goal of being a defensive driver each and every time you get behind the wheel. Throughout this course, we will refer to the three-step NSC Collision Prevention Formula. It is an easy way to help you be a defensive driver. The letters R, U, and A will help you remember the formula. R stands for Recognize the hazard that can cause a collision. U stands for Understand the defense to avoid the hazard. A stands for Act correctly in time to arrive at your destination safely. Let's take a closer look at each step.
I was going to say run, and that's not how you spell run.
The first step in the NSC Collision Prevention Formula is to recognize potential hazards that can cause collisions. To do so, you must use all of your senses and give your full attention to the road.
The road needs attention, guys. Give it to it.
Have you ever had surgery? Make your choice by selecting the icon below.
When I was little, but I don't remember that. So,
If you ever do have surgery, you will want the doctors to pay full attention to what they are doing, rather than talking on the phone or reading the paper while operating. Driving, like surgery, is a full-time job that requires all of your attention. Recognizing hazards requires you to use your
yeah, me
senses,
too with the smell.
vision, hearing,
Gas.
smell, and touch or feel. How do you use your vision to recognize hazards? Scan ahead, around, and behind your vehicle. In urban areas, scan 1 or 2 blocks ahead. In rural areas or on expressways, scan to the next hill, curve, or overpass. Check mirrors every 3 to 5 seconds. Always stay alert. Focus on the driving task so you do not lose response time. You may also use your vision to check the inside of your vehicle, including the dashboard, and scan sidewalk to sidewalk and front yards. In which scenario would you be most likely to use your hearing to recognize the hazard? Make your selection, then click or tap Submit.
That one. Oh, okay.
That's correct. Most of the time, you hear the sirens of emergency vehicles before you see them. In which scenario would you be most likely to use your sense of smell to recognize the hazard? Make your selection, then click or tap Submit.
One.
Yes, you would notice the smell of gasoline. In which scenario would you be most likely to use your sense of touch to recognize the hazard? Make your selection, then click or tap Submit.
Touch. Car close in front of you, a speeding car, someone walking on the shoulder of the road, icy road conditions. Your scenario, you would be likely to use your sense of touch to recognize a hazard. I'm sorry. None of these make any sense to me. I don't even see like the best possible answer because all of these seem like bad answers. Would you most likely use your sense of touch to recognize a hazard? Most likely use. If a car pulls in front of me, I would flip up my middle finger. No. A speeding car. Yeah, but what would you do with your hands? You would use your feet? Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, that is touch. Someone walking on the shoulder of the road. Icy road conditions. Because I'm gonna just casually put my hand outside, feel the road really quickly. Oh, yeah, that's ice. I'm gonna go with a speeding car. I don't. Maybe ice. No, but you wouldn't. You would be able to see that. I don't know, man.
That's incorrect. You can use your sense of touch to recognize icy road conditions. What you feel in the steering wheel alerts you to the road conditions. You can feel your car slide when the roads become icy.
I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Why would that be a sense of touch, though? Yeah, you feel it. What does the steering wheel have to do with the... Hold on. You can use your sense of touch to recognize icy road conditions. What you feel in the steering wheel alerts you to the road conditions. And then they have this next sentence, you can feel your car slide when the road becomes icy. guess. Because I'm like, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, like, the first statement doesn't really make any sense to me. Because what does the steering wheel have to do with the road? Like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. But the you can feel your car slide thing. Yeah. But wouldn't that be the sense of no feeling is touching? Oh shit. I was thinking feeling it was its own sense, but feeling is touching in a sense. Because if you feel like you're falling over, but you can't touch it. You can't touch the feeling. You could feel the feeling of. Feeling is a verb, right? No, feeling. No, touching is a verb. Feeling would be the adjective to describe how it feels to touch something. I guess that could work. I don't. All right.
The second step in the NSC collision prevention formula is to understand the defense to avoid collisions. You need to know what to do to prevent a traffic hazard from becoming a collision and acknowledge the consequences of your driving choices. Some of the basic defenses are to scan in all directions, slow down, and use a safe following distance.
Next.
Let's look at some hazards you may encounter. Click or tap each box to learn the appropriate defense.
You are driving the posted speed limit and a car is tailgating you. You just go the same speed limit. You don't give a fuck.
You are driving the posted speed limit and a car is tailgating you. Your appropriate defense is to slow down.
Or you could slow down and let them pass you. But I just stay in my same speed limit because they supposed to be tailgating me. If you want to get in front of me, you could. Oh wait, nobody in the slow down so they can't get in front of me. Sure.
It's rush hour and other drivers are cutting in and out of your lane. Your appropriate defense is to use a safe following distance.
Yep, just try to keep it really far. Not too far, but far enough.
You are driving past a playground. Your appropriate defense is to scan in all directions.
You know what I immediately thought of when he said playground? I mean, when he said to scan in all directions. I literally thought of it's a pedo joke. You get it. There we go. I'm not going to continue that. We're going to move on.
The third step in the NSC collision prevention formula is to act correctly in time to avoid collisions. You must apply appropriate defensive driving skills and choose the safest driving maneuver every time you drive. Acting correctly in time can include turning the wheel in the direction you want the front of the vehicle to go when you lose traction, utilizing the 4 R's when faced with a head-on collision.
Race road.
Ahead. Drive to the right. Reduce your speed and ride off the road. And using the delayed acceleration technique at controlled intersections and/or cover the brake when approaching an intersection or when you see a potential hazard. We will discuss this more in depth a little later.
Oh, okay, because I was like, he just skipped past the 4 hours that I need to know. And I was like, alright, I want to see how the audio is after an hour and I see if I can fix it, or I feel like it's too low, that's all. Oh, we'll do that later. Anyway,